Welcome to Cryptid Crossroads 505. I'm Larry.
And I'm Vince,
Welcome to the show.
where we talk all things cryptid,
Sasquatch,
aliens,
hauntings.
and anything paranormal you would like to share with us.
You can reach us at cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com.
So settle in, open your mind, and enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome to Cryptid Crossroads 505. I'm Larry D, and this is my co-host Vince.
Hey.
And Vince, tell them where we're at.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Jemez Mountains.
Right.
Now this is not our regular hangout. We're looking for different areas, we're always looking for more activity. That's just what we do. We're scouting new spots all the time. This is one spot we found. It's hard to describe this road. This road is heavily populated. It's in a great area. It's a great spot. But we found a spot within this road that we have no neighbors for miles on either direction. So
We don't.
that's right up our alley. We're going to give this spot a shot, see if anything happens. You can't judge a spot by a night or two.
No, we're hoping for some activity so that it'll draw us back. The reason we're here, but before I start getting into that, let me say one thing. We want to hear from you.
Right.
So you could reach out to us at cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com. Now, I'm just swatting the mosquitoes away, so excuse me for that. So we want to hear your story. We want you to tell us what you think. Or if you want to come on and be one of our guests, that's how you get to us. Like I said, cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com. We want to hear from you.
Right.
Anyway, like my brother was saying, we're picking different spots because our natural spot, the spot that we've always had luck at, the Jemez Mountains have been getting so much rain. The road is washed out.
It's now we've said this in our previous podcasts. We got ourselves a camping trailer, which makes it easier for us. But on the flip side, it makes it harder for us to get to secluded areas.
Right.
Now that was our favorite spot because we've always had some kind of activity, whether it be on the ground or in the sky. That still remains to be a great spot.
That
but
is our spot.
That road is so bad. We took it today in his truck,
Right.
and we had to at least be in 4 high or 4 high.
We were on 4 high all the way up. Now there were some places where I could have maybe done 4 low, but no, my truck it's a fairly new truck, and the 4 high did well. It took us to where it was, but there's no way we're going to get the trailer back there.
No,
no way.
And it's a smaller trailer. I took some pictures of this area. I'll be posting on the website,
Right.
or on the Facebook site. I'm sorry.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with our Facebook site, we want you to join our group. And what is that on Facebook?
It is Cryptid Crossroads 505 on Facebook, and you could join our conversations. You could post your own stories. You could post your own
right.
pictures, and let us chime in.
That's right. So, like, before we came over and we rebranded, it was late night with Larry, and we talked about it's still going to be a lot of the same stuff, but we want your interaction. Now that we've rebranded, we want you to come on board with us, and we want to hear your story. We know you have stories.
Right.
We want to hear it. There's no shame in telling us your story, right?
Exactly. No, I went out on a limb. I told my story. First time I told my story was on a different site on YouTube. It was
Pac West North.
Pac West Bigfoot.
Yep.
I reached out to him, and he usually he swings the stories. He puts them in like a story type formation, and he tells them. But when I talked to him, he wanted me to tell the story myself. So I went on and I told it, and we talked back and forth, and
Yes.
and we'd like something like that from you guys also.
That's right. There's nothing like hearing a story from the first-hand person who experienced it.
Or not even firsthand. If maybe somebody in your family had
That's right.
or your friend had an incident and you want to tell the story, we'd love to hear it.
I would love to hear it.
And we also on our site on Facebook, we posted not only us but members have posted links to other stories which are pretty cool. We could debate them and talk about them, but the only thing we ask is come in with an open mind and don't criticize others for their encounters, because we weren't there. We don't know.
That's right. I'm always a firm believer, and I tell people, even in the professional world, I tell someone, if you're going to accuse someone of something, be sure that you were there and you saw it. Other than that, it's hearsay and you don't know. So when these people give their story, you weren't there. Don't criticize them, because they're willing to share their story and their belief of what
Right.
they saw. So
Right.
we want to be an open community that shares freely without criticism.
Right, and like we said, who are we to call anyone a liar? We weren't there.
That's right.
Now you're gonna hear some background noise because back in the way there's a road. It goes through our area, but and there's another little camper, but there's nowhere for them to camp near us, so they'll just be cruising on by.
That's right. So we did pick this spot with prejudice, I should say, and it's a good spot. I wish I could show you the whole footage. I'll try to get camera footage and show you, but you're at least seeing the background of
Right.
what we're up against.
And like I said, I took a few snapshots of this, but if you could get some video, that'd be great too.
Right.
But one thing we talked about when we were sitting here, because we've been here since yesterday, and last night it was relatively quiet. Like I said, we're just experiencing a new site.
Right.
And it was relatively quiet, but we talked about stuff on the internet
On
that
the
we've seen
internet, yeah,
lately.
right.
And there's a couple that popped out in my head.
Yeah, we're going to talk about one instance specifically that we talked about. But before we go that, we've kind of rambled on, maybe because we're out in the wild and we're wild, hey, but we always want to toast you. So let me...
Right. We don't have the usual shot.
That's right. We don't have the shots because we're out in the wild. We're not by the liquor store. Sorry.
Right.
But
No, and I usually have our supplies in my house, but
here's to you
to you.
and to Cryptid Crossroads 505.
But anyway, getting back to our subjects, there's been a couple of photos, videos, and stuff on the internet we'd like to discuss. And the first one is the Sasquatch crossing the river, and it's
With the baby.
With the baby, or some people think it's a deer carcass.
No, I've watched that, and I believe it is. From what I've seen, it's an infant in the arms, but it's crossing the river, and we talked about it. Me and my brother looked at it. We kind of analyzed it like other people would, and the arm structure was what brought our attention. I don't know if it's real, but if it's someone in a costume, it's pretty damn good. But we did say, most from what we know, Squatches have a little bit longer arms. So if you look at the arm structure of this creature crossing the river, the arms ain't that long.
Right. And a Sasquatch, the arms are slightly longer than the legs, where like a chimp,
Right.
the arms are significantly longer than the legs.
Right.
And as a human, the legs are a little bit longer than the arms.
Now, we're not saying it's not real. We're not saying that. I mean, anything's possible in nature. But from what we've studied and we understand that, yeah, Squatches usually have longer arms. Because most people, when they see Squatches and they say, well, I saw this creature, but the arms were longer than normal. They hung below the knees like a primate would. It didn't seem like these arms were capable of doing that. If she would have dropped the infant crossing the river and her arms dropped, it was more like human arms.
Right.
Seriously.
And see, that's what got my attention when he showed me the picture, and that's why I wasn't convinced.
Well, I was excited about it at
Well,
first.
you know,
but
anything that comes out, we look at it with an open mind. But we've seen enough of these people who analyze the videos, and the first thing they point out is the arm to leg ratio,
that's right.
and that's always a telltale. Now, as far as these people who analyze, one of our favorite people is Thinker Thunker.
Right.
Now, if you're on YouTube, check out his videos. He does good work. He does it unbiased. He does good work. And I got a Thinker Thunker sticker that's going on our travel trailers. So, and we're gonna put a big old logo on it so people know to listen to our podcast.
Right. And Thinker Thunker is a good person that he really takes a video and he'll tear it apart.
Right. He has the software to do that.
and he'll analyze it and I give him credit because he doesn't it's not half-hour analyzation. It takes many hours to do what he's doing.
Right.
And if you see me swatting,
Mosquitoes are out.
we got these mosquitoes out here, but he takes his time and he really analyzes these because, like us, he's looking for the truth.
Right.
He wants to know if these are fake, real, or if it's all just propaganda. And
Right.
I'm going to say 90% of them can be propaganda, but the 10% that are real are genuine.
Or even the 1%.
1%. Well, I'm going to say there's 10%. We always go back to the film footage that set it off, the Patterson Gimlin film. To this day, that footage cannot be discredited. Now,
Right.
we're going to lead into another, I guess, YouTube video. I saw this one on Facebook, and was it Facebook you saw it or YouTube?
I can't remember where I saw it. I don't even know who posted it.
But it was, I sent it to my brother, and it was posted on a group for Facebook called Bigfoot Now, and it's a trail cam of a Sasquatch. This trail cam did catch a Sasquatch walking through, and you see the footage, the shadow footage from the trail cam. Of course, it's in infrared at night, but
You see the something big walking through the forest
right.
off in the back, and I can't say it is or it isn't, but that's the important part. I can't say it isn't.
It's good footage, though.
Yeah, it's really good footage. It's really interesting footage. And Bigfoot Now, you should check it out. That's another Facebook group.
It is. But no, check out our Facebook group, Cryptid
Right.
Crossroads 505.
Check out ours. Maybe you could put the link on there.
I'm going to see if they'll allow me to share it because it's a group that they like to hold tight as well. But this footage is really good, and it's a trail cam, and it shows the shadow of a large creature just walking through the trail cam, and I was like really baffled that someone would post that because usually people get criticized and everything, but I'm glad they did. And I'm glad that there's more and more people coming out that are believing in this topic and are willing to go out there and try and capture images,
Right.
footage, photo, or sound recordings of these creatures. Now, we know they're elusive. They're hard to find. And there's a good reason for it. If you were one of these creatures, you wouldn't want to be found by us.
Right. You
Because
probably wouldn't want to have nothing to do with the human
Because
race.
we're destructive.
Well, they see us from a distance, and I've had this discussion before on the podcast, and with people I work with a lot of hunters, and they say I've never seen a Sasquatch, but that doesn't mean they haven't seen you. They
right.
see what you do with that boomstick, and it's destruction. That's why they don't want to have nothing to do with you.
That's right. I mean, these creatures, they don't have weapons that they could go to war with us. They just want to live a peaceful life in the forest, and it's hard enough. If any of you ever come out camping, like me and my brother constantly do, we always think about if we didn't have the luxuries or the brain power we have. Let's say we just came out and it was primal camping.
We
no,
wouldn't survive.
no tent, nothing, no fire, nothing. I don't know if we'd survive out here.
No, we probably wouldn't. We're not long anyway.
No, because it's when you come out to the forest, it's rough terrain. So these creatures, they are one tough son of a bitches.
Right.
Is all I have to say.
Now they talk about apex predators, and humans are not. The only thing that puts us, we're not apex predators. The only thing that puts us on top of the food chain is our knowledge of tools and weapons.
That's right. That's the only thing. So let's say we had a nuclear war tomorrow. 90% of our population would perish.
Right.
The other 10% that knows how to fish, hunt, and survive without cell phones, washers, dryers, this and that. Yeah, it'd be an ugly world for 90% of us.
Well, for a little while, because that 90% would die off.
Right.
And the 10%
The
would
10% would flourish, of course, but even then, the 10% would die off if it was a nuclear war. But I'm just using that as an analogy. But
Right.
yeah, these creatures have survived out here for, let's say, centuries, because we go back and we look at all the tales that the tribal members,
The First
tribes,
Nation
the
tribes.
First Nation tribes. It doesn't matter what tribe you talk to. More predominantly, the Washington, the northeastern tribes, they have tales about these creatures. They're in their folklore. They're in their totem poles.
Right.
So they recognize these creatures, and they've been around before even Columbus got to this earth,
Well,
or to this, not this earth, this
who
nation.
knows? He might be an alien, but we all know Columbus wasn't the first one here.
No, he wasn't. We even go back. We're hearing the Vikings were here before Columbus was,
And that's more accurate, I
And if you look at some of the Viking stories, they say they encountered some of these creatures.
Now, I think you said some of the tribes. I think every Native American tribe has Sasquatch lore, folklore.
They do have folklore. They give them different names, but they're all in the folklore.
Right.
All of them.
Even now, where we live, now we're from the western part of New Mexico. A lot of Navajos, but they have stories. They have a lot of stories, not only folklore but firsthand stories about Sasquatch.
That's right. No, I mean, some of the best stories I've heard from native tribe folklore are from some of the Washington tribes up in the, the Northeast near Canada, or I mean the Northwest.
Right.
Washington, in that area, British Columbia, because these creatures, they thrive in that environment.
Right, because that's where the thick forest is, and people don't really think of New Mexico as a thick forest, but look around.
Look around us.
In the south, right? It's what they call high desert.
High desert.
But when you come to the north, we connect with Colorado, and that's where these mountain ranges and forests go.
That's right.
It's thick and dense, and
yeah. I mean, look. We're sitting around here, and if I could turn the camera, which I'm not going to do right now because the focus is here on us, but if I did, you're going to see some thick forest around us. I picked this shot because this is the base of a mountain, but up this mountain is nothing but forest and trees. And if I turn the camera south, you're going to see nothing but thick forest and trees with a little open field. So these creatures can thrive and survive here.
Right.
Now, the reason we say that is we've seen, last time we were here, we personally filmed a herd of 70, 80 elk.
easy.
Elk, big, healthy elk, because we've been getting a lot of moisture. There's a lot of grass for them to eat. They're healthy. They're big. They're fat. I want one for my freezer. Deer, unlimited. On my way to meet my brother here, I almost hit 2 of them.
Right.
Because they're bouncing through the road. We just took a little ride earlier today, and we saw 4 fat wild turkey.
Yeah.
Quail.
There was probably more than 4
Yeah,
there.
there is abundant life, and there's always constant water flowing here.
Right.
Now, I think we have in this area, because this was volcanic activity, the Valles Caldera. This is one of the super volcanoes that's listed in the United States, and there's constant hot springs, constant artesian wells bubbling up. There's water, there's food. Why would you go anywhere else?
Right, and we talked about it in I think on the last podcast about just cruising on the side of the road, and there's bushels of berries, and there's plentiful food for the smaller animals or for omnivores, and then for the apex predators, that just means more for them.
More food. We were coming up. Was it last week?
Probably
It was last week.
when we saw the blackberries.
Yeah, we were coming up, and we were driving by, and I told my brother, Did you see those blackberries?" He said, "No," but when we went back, he did see them, and they were just hanging by the bushels.
Right.
And I was thinking, bears and
Omnivores,
omnivores,
any omnivore.
that right there is a smorgasbord.
Right,
But like we're saying, this is prime area.
right. It is the area we're in right now. It's a little populated by humans, usually in the camping time. That's why we're kind of feeling around for it. We talked about from here we could go by our regular spot, which is washed out, it's hard to get to right now,
Right,
which
that-
breaks my heart because
that
that
road
was a
is-
great spot.
It was, but
We could go toward the Cuba Mountains,
we can.
and I don't know if I've posted those pictures yet. Remember the pictures I got in the
Yeah,
snow?
yeah.
If I haven't, I will post them on our Facebook page. But an individual sent me pictures, strong, solid pictures of prints in the snow, and that's around the Cuba area.
And they were damn good prints. But my thing is, today we're talking about what could happen here, and a lot can, because it's cooling down. Winter's going to set on us. They usually lock these roads up, so
Right.
I'm thinking with all this wildlife, they just thrive. No one hunts anymore.
Right. When they lock it up, they have free run
That's
of
right.
the place.
We all get our meat from the grocery store. No one hunts anymore. But we kind of got off track. But we were wanting to talk about that one video, and I want you guys to find it. I don't know if I could. These damn mosquitoes. I don't know if I could find it, but if I can, I'm gonna put it with our video, and it's gonna be a trail cam.
It's really good
Right.
footage.
So, watching this video, you may see it at the end of this video, because I'm going to look for it, cut it in, and so expect it at the end of the video, and you'll see that trail cam of the video where you see the shadow walking through. And this isn't a small creature.
Right.
This is a big creature. And if you ask me, I'm going to say, yes, sir, that is a Sasquatch
Right.
walking through that trail
Right.
cam
And
video.
I'm going to have to agree with you until somebody proves it different.
I am, and I'm going to stand my ground and say it's a Sasquatch finally caught on a trail cam video. But we know we're going to have the naysayers out there,
usual.
because we know several naysayers that don't believe in this topic.
Right.
But we know that you, if you're subscribing and you're listening to us, we know you believe in it.
You believed, or you at least intrigued.
That's right. And so since that being said, I know you know someone that's seen something, or you won't be believing, or you're just
Or you've
picking
seen
this
something,
up.
or you've seen something and you don't want to tell.
yourself. So share that story with us.
We want to know.
We want to
Inquiring
know.
minds want to know.
That's right. But we know they're out there, and this was a pinnacle. I had to send it to my brother immediately. I
Right.
said, this is one of the clearest trail cam videos I've ever seen. Usually people put up a trail cam and they don't capture nothing, but this was damn good footage captured on a trail cam.
Right.
And I have to say it's a Squatch, whether you believe or not.
But you need to watch it and decide for yourself.
Decide for
And
yourself.
let us know what you think.
And shoot us an email and tell us.
Right.
I don't think that was a squatch. Even, what are you going to tell me? That's a bear walking on 2 feet? We're really going to have a discussion. Right. So, but yes, I'm going to try and put it at the end of this video that you're watching so that you can make the decision for yourself. Oh.
Look at that. Who did that?
Look at that. Look what happened. We come out to the woods and everything happens. Anyway, we're good. Here we go. I got us. He had to hop off camera. You realize we're in the woods and it's really tough out here. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I want you guys to send us your stories, man. Don't be shy.
No, sorry about that.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the fire going. And
Yeah,
stuff, so.
we got 10 things going on out here because we're in the forest. It's getting dark.
We're trying to be responsible people.
That's right. And but no, I want you guys to look at that footage. I want you guys to tell us what you think. And I know you guys have stories. Send them to us. Talk to us.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, talk to me, Goose.
Right. Yeah, and let's just share, everybody. I mean, it's hard. I know sometimes this stuff is hard to share. I've been through it myself, but if you want to do it anonymously, that's cool too.
Well, here's my thing, As you can see, we're broadcasting out in the wilderness. How many of you people really go out into the wilderness like we do and just go out and camp and hope you get lightning strikes? Because it's tough. I realize it's tough.
Right.
But it happens. You could be just driving down the road and it happens.
Right.
And
like for me, I went on that one camping trip.
And it happened.
It happened. Not expecting it at all. Worse, it was the furthest thing from my mind.
Right.
I just wanted to get my kids one camping trip before school started, and it changed my life.
That's right. So we're glad you guys still follow us. We're glad you guys are interested in the Squatch topic.
Right.
Because we are. But that's not all we do. We do hauntings, everything else. But we're in the forest, and this is where the Squatch is happening.
Right.
I got a call-in caller that our next episode is probably be about hauntings, and I hope you like it.
Right.
So stay tuned and follow us. But the best thing is going to be give us your story so that you could hear yourself.
Right. Now, I have a friend who's supposed to call in with the Skinwalker story. How about that?
Yes, we got them coming. So we want you to stay tuned.
Now, we're still, we switched over to the Cryptid Crossroads 505, but we're still struggling with our artwork.
Our intro music.
I know exactly what I have in mind. I told my brother he likes my ideas, but the only problem is we could only draw stick figures.
Man.
Yeah, so we're trying to find someone who work with us, who ain't gonna kill us financially, because hey, we're poor as it is.
That's right. We bring this to you because we love to do it.
Right. We usually podcast after we pick up our commodities.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, on that note, we want your story because I know you have one.
Right.
And we want you to stick with us listening to us.
Because we're going to tell you our stories. And
our
hopefully
stories
when the sun goes down, we're going to have a story.
Yeah, we're hoping
not,
to.
We're going to move to another spot.
We are. That's it. That's what we do. We're out here in the wilderness trying to get the real deal for you. And when he's had it, but when I have that one close encounter, you can bet your ass that'll be the last podcast we have.
Right. He always tells me that once he gets a Class A sighting, he's out of here. And
but we know that's bullshit because I'm gonna want more.
That is bullshit because I had my experience and it was nuts. It scared the crap out of me, and I did not want to come back. He talked me into it. So if he has the sightings, he don't want to come back. I'm gonna talk him into coming back.
We're gonna get some sponsorship, and if I have a Class A sighting like that, and I've had many frequent encounters that I can't say were class A, but I can't explain what happened. And
Right.
you've heard them throughout. If you're a faithful listener, you've heard what I said throughout the podcast. And I can't explain what those sounds were, what they were. All I know that it wasn't us, and we were the only ones up there.
We've heard
Who
everything
else
a
could it
squatcher
be?
hears. The only thing he needs is the face to
Once I get
face.
that visual, that's right. Then I say I'm done. I said that's my last podcast. Hey, yeah, it is wrong. He knows it. I know it. I'm going to get funding, and we're going to search the woods for it.
Or even if we have to come out here with bologna sandwiches, I'm gonna say,
Bada
I'm
bing,
going,
bada
so
bang.
you're going.
That's right. Anyway, that's what we want to bring to you today. We're on site again, and we want your story. We're just trying to get some more activity to report to you, and hopefully this new spot will do it. Like we said, the old spot is inaccessible, and we can get there.
Right,
and
now-
that was the best place we had.
Now we will go. We probably won't stay all night. We'll go. It takes a full whole drive to get back there. We'll go. We'll go like we started in our pickups, and we stay there for. We just stay till 3, 4 in the morning. Then we come home. We stayed there all night in tents, but it depends on the weather. So if it's not too cold, we'll stay all night. We'll pull out the tents unless they work on the road. But for now, as cold as it's been, because we've been getting a lot of moisture and it gets really cold at night. So we'll stay there as long as we can. And like 3, 4 in the morning, if it's going to happen, it'll happen by then.
That's right. I'm sorry I had to leave the frame, but we're trying to get the fire going, and
Well, we're trying to be responsible
it is,
campers.
and it's getting cold. The sun's going down, but we wanted to share that with you today and share your stories with us. And
Right.
thanks for listening. We appreciate you, and we want activity here. If we get activity here, you're going to be the first to know it, because we always got activity at the old spot.
Right.
But like we said, it's inaccessible anymore. But stay tuned.
But
and
we
we're
still
gonna
will be
keep-
visiting that spot.
That's right. We're going to keep you posted. So, but don't be afraid to share with us.
And actually, now that we have more capability, we might be moving up, find some spots closer to Colorado,
We're definitely going to expand.
or the San Juan River Basin. If you look that up, that's a hot spot.
That's right. And that's on my list. As I've said before, we're going to reach out to certain people who have constant sightings in that area.
Right.
It's a hotbed up there because they're on the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. So I could see us getting good luck there. Of course, where we're here, the Rocky Mountains, our mountain chain here in New Mexico, it's considered a minor part of the Rocky Mountains,
Right,
but
'cause
it
it
ties.
connects.
Yes, but it ties in. So when we go up there, those are truly getting into the Rocky Mountains, and there's so. I know you people hear about the northwest sightings and the sightings in Texas and the Big Thicket, but we have a lot of sightings here in the Four Corners area.
Right. You'd be
Heavily,
surprised.
heavily
And,
populated and heavily.
and if you look at the maps on the BFRO, they don't do us justice
No,
for the
they don't.
sightings.
These sightings, the sightings are all on the Navajo reservation, and they just don't get reported because the Navajo people are not going to report them.
Right, they're pretty. They keep to
They
themselves.
they keep a tight knit community, but there's a lot of activity out there, and we're going to try and bring some of those stories
Right.
and that activity to you. So just stay tuned.
Right.
Anyway, we're glad you stuck with us and you came over to Cryptid Crossroads 505. Thanks. We appreciate your viewership, your listenership, and stay tuned.
Right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here with us on location and dealing with our technical difficulties. It's
That's right.
if the mosquitoes ain't killing us, the fire's going
Or
crazy.
or the flies are killing us.
Right.
But thanks for listening, and we're on site live. You see the beautiful wilderness behind us, and I can't tell you enough how we want your story.
Right.
I know you've seen something.
Right.
Give it to us.
And we've had too many people say, I want to tell you my story, but then they back out and
They get scared and they want to. I'm going to get criticized. No, no.
right. And that's why I say if you want us to tell it anonymously, we could do that
We can
too.
do it. And remember, Cryptid Crossroads 505@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. That's what we brought to you tonight. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching.
We hope all you YouTubers enjoyed the show.
That's right. And don't forget to reach out to us at cryptidcrossroads505@gmail.com.
Peace.
Peace.